All right, so we back here on another Couch Coach Live. Couch Coaches, we are back here another Tuesday night under the lights here at Studio A here. We breaking up. What's this?
Everything good?
Yeah, I hear a little static.
Oh, I'm
Can you
sorry.
hear
I'm
me
sorry.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's going on, Maui?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. Shoot, man. Same old, same old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Ready to go through this whole. I work all the time, but get ready to get through this whole show so I can get all the sports information I need and know what to look for. But
Yeah.
I wanted to say happy anniversary. Today is the day. It's your first day in Akron, Ohio, 3 years ago, and
Oh
you
yeah.
got to eat you some Swensons.
Yes, the trip I dreaded, the Phoenix to Cleveland commute was hell. Like I hated that commute with a passion. I thought Las
Yeah.
Vegas to Philadelphia was bad, but my goodness, don't, if I ever had to go back to the West Coast, do not put me. Don't I do not want to go from through Phoenix to Cleveland ever again. That was the worst. I'm not gonna front that day. And then what was crazy about that day? It was draft day out of all days, and we was in that, bro.
Hey, but you got to go to the Hall of Fame.
That's true. That's true. That
Yeah,
was
you
one
got
thing
to go.
about it. That's one thing
Yeah.
about it where it good outweigh the bad. But I tell you, if I ever fly, I'm gonna. Well, it won't on my. It was. I put it this way, it won't on my dime, so I can't really be choosy. But I know if I was paying for it, I'm definitely not doing no Phoenix to Cleveland. Like we going San Jose back to Cleveland.
Hey, and it's when we actually had a chance to get close to one of our favorites, Ernesto.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely huge shout out to them. Yeah, because we was in California this time, what,
Right.
3 years ago? Yeah, and we got back
Yeah.
right around this
Yeah.
time. Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
man. No more Phoenix to Cleveland. I don't care. No, I'm not doing that no more.
Big difference, right?
Or I'm taking a sleeping pill or some type of something. That's all like, man, I can't. But yeah, man. So we got a great show lined up for you, man. What a great week. We got the draft coming up.
Mhm.
And then we also got some, state championship football this weekend. Definitely looking forward to that. And man, we got a great show lined up for you. We got our guy Jalen from the Unpopular Podcast. He'll be joining us here. He'll be joining us for the whole hour. We'll talk about his podcast. Yeah. And definitely then we'll have JB at the bottom of the hour to have us. We'll have a mock draft, our top 10 mock draft. So we're gonna have that squared away. So before we get started, man, let's kick this intro and we'll bring in Jalen. And before we bring Jalen in the frame, definitely huge shout out to my brother, Rob from the Football Chill Podcast, another fellow Washington football guy. Definitely shout out. Appreciate the love for the hat. But yeah, oh my God, Atlanta, San Francisco. Yeah. So you would have I would have I'm sorry, they would have had a full course meal. I couldn't do it that long. That's you can't feed me one some peanuts and snacks. I mean, I even though you can pay for food, but I mean complimentary sandwich and some chips or something. and a whole can of ginger ale, at least. Without further ado, man, let's bring in our guest tonight, our guy Jalen from the Unpopular Podcast. What's going on, Jalen?
How you doing? I appreciate you having me, man. It's definitely a blessing to be on here, so I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Definitely appreciate you coming through. And, man, like you said, the title itself, the Unpopular Podcast.
Yeah.
So, tell us the backstory behind the podcast, the inspiration behind it, and just the history behind the podcast.
Well, first and foremost, I appreciate you guys again for having me on. It started actually as a blog. I used to have a blog, and I used to write about sports. I mean, I've been playing sports or in sports since I was 3. So once after I played college ball, I realized I might not be good enough to be professional. So I had to go a different route, and I know I wanted to still be, in the realm of sports, and I knew my opinions. Some, of course, were unpopular, but my opinions could get me somewhere. So I started as a blog. Then I realized like I can't spell to save my life, and this just isn't it. But then I started, people say maybe you should start this podcast thing, and I didn't really want to do it because I was like everybody named Mama got a podcast. Don't nobody even listen to me. And then I started it just one day, and we're here. Probably what 3 years later. I've been rolling 152 episodes later. So yeah.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man.
You know, it also helps for spelling, even though we're not endorsed by these people, but Grammarly. Shout out to the podfather I got, Jeff.
Yeah,
he put me onto it, and I tell you, like, because I'm like you when it comes to blogging, I'm like, man, I had subject verb disagreement, and I'm like,
but I went to school.
I can't do this.
it's just to me, it just doesn't draw my attention and doesn't get my creative juices flowing as much as speaking and as much as giving my opinion verbally. You know what I mean? Like, and no offense to anybody that wants to blog, do your thing, but I just feel like me talking will get me further than me writing. So
I feel you.
That's where it came from, I guess.
What all sports did you play?
I played basketball. I played college basketball. I went to a small HBCU called Voorhees College in South Carolina. I played high school ball. I played basketball my whole life. I played football 1 year, but I wanted to be a tight end. I just couldn't catch over the shoulder, so they made me a lineman, and that was it for that. And I'm not getting hit. So I played basketball pretty much my whole life.
What position in basketball did you play?
That's the thing, man. From middle school, from elementary school to high school, I was center. I was a big dude. I'm 6'2", but I was a big, pretty big dude. Right. College, I played 2 to the 3 because I could shoot. So I had to adjust because ain't no 6'2" dudes playing center in college, getting your brains blown out. So I definitely learned, worked on my craft and learned how to shoot. And after that, the real world hitting. Now I'm here. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How did it feel? How did it feel? When did you really like, how did it feel when you realized that, man, I'm not that good to go to the next level? Like, what really hit you? Like, what was you like? Where were you at? And like, when did somebody come to you, or you just was like, man, I know this ain't it? If you can explain that to me.
Well, let me say this. I think that my skill set, I was good enough to go to the next level.
Right.
It's just I didn't have the time and the determination to put in that much work.
Okay.
When I got out of college, finances hit, and I had to. I mean, I didn't really, as for people that know, you have to devote at least 10 hours a day on your craft, and I couldn't do that. I had to pick up. I had to go to work, and there was a time when I was like, well, I'm still a little young. I can still do it. But then that's when, at this point, I'm like, I just enjoy hooping at the local rec or, 4 or 5 times a week, because I just couldn't put in that time that I feel needs to be put in to, even if it's just go overseas. Like I couldn't put in that time. So I'm not going to chase them. I can't 100% do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One more, man, just with the podcast, do you feel like you're going to be able to give what you couldn't give to that? You're going to be able to give it to your podcast?
I realize, that's a good question. I didn't really think of it like that, man. I realize I spend a lot of time on this podcast, man. From looking at getting new topics, always watching sports, trying to improve the visuals, trying to improve the audio, the marketing for you guys. The marketing is a beast if you're not good at it. I realize now that you say it, I put in a lot of time in the podcast, and it doesn't really feel like it until you.
That's
really
what's up.
Like,
that's what's up.
I've been at this computer looking at topics or building the show for 5-6 hours a day. Like, whew, you know what I mean? And
wow.
the blessing about it is I freelance as a job. I freelance videographer for sports stuff, and that allows me to kind of manipulate my schedule around the podcast. And I realized that now my schedule is pretty much revolved around the podcast. So I didn't really think of it like that, but yeah, the time that I could have put into playing basketball, I put into this. And now that I really think about it, and even though it's weird to say, seeing as though I've hooped my whole life, I kind of enjoy this more than hooping.
Right.
I don't think I would ever said that back in the day, but I enjoy this aspect of sports, I guess, more than actually hooping. Even though, again, I hooped earlier today. I still get my basketball in, but this right here is a passion. Basketball is a hobby. You know what I mean? So that's a good question. I didn't really think of it like that, man.
Grass still beats for real.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, we talked about the Unpopular podcast. So, what has been your most unpopular take as far as
Well, that's the thing. Especially early on, I let my unpopular takes go. And I seem to get a lot of rise when I said that Cam Newton is leaps and bounds better than Mike Vick. I said Mike Vick's a better runner, but outside of that, Cam Newton's better at everything else. That pretty much got a rise out of people. RP to Kobe, but I know one show I said I'd pick Kevin Durant offensively than Kobe Bryant because of the fact that he's 7 feet but can put the ball on the ground. Yeah, I see y'all faces.
I ain't tripping. I rep. Hey, he's DMV. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go now.
I said. I mean, he's 7 feet that can get his own shot. Like he's a walking 30. Now, again, I say Kobe is the best, like impossible shot maker. But if we're talking about a clean offense and someone that can rise up over anybody, give me Kevin Durant. So, and I guess my most recent unpopular take that I don't feel is unpopular, but I said that Steph Curry is the second best point guard we've ever seen. And yes, and that's still I'm considering Chris Paul, John Stockton, Nash. I'm considering all of them, the Big O. I think what Steph Curry has done and what he's doing since he's gotten to the league or since he got his ankles right, I think it's hard. I can't, outside of Magic, I can't put nobody above him at the point guard position. So those are some unpopular takes that I will go to the grave with. You know what I mean? So
facts.
Yeah.
So any backlash that you've received from unpopular takes, like trash talking, this, that, and third?
That Kobe one, that I mean, I saw you guys' face. Imagine Lakers fans, imagine Kobe fans, people that may not like Kevin Durant for some decisions he's made in the past. So, yeah, that's probably the biggest one I've got backlash from. I've gotten long theses of how I shouldn't be talking in a mic. I've got voice memos of why I shouldn't be talking sports or why Kobe's the greatest player ever. Again, rest in peace to Kobe. But like I said, that's probably the biggest one. I got a little bit of backlash from the Mike Vick Cam Newton one. He's like, bro, did you see what Cam Newton did in the Super Bowl? I said, yeah, he got to a Super Bowl, bro. I mean, they were 15-1, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, the backlash, that Kobe one, to this day, anyone here is like, whoa, hold on, what did he say? So, but then again, I understand it, so I'll take it. It's the Unpopular podcast for a reason. So
Kobe fans about as bad as the Beehive. Tell me, they don't be playing, B. They like the Walking Dead, like they don't play, bro.
They don't play, and again, don't get me wrong, I get that's another unpopular take. That's another unpopular take. One popular take I had was Tim Duncan isn't that far from Kobe. Now, of course, the flashiness and everything. Like, if you look at the
numbers,
right.
I'm not arguing. Yeah, right.
But right. People like Tim Duncan. I'm like, I know. It's okay. Yeah, I know. Kobe's great too, but just because Tim Duncan didn't have, wasn't breaking people down. I mean, there's a reason why he's a 5-time champion, but it is what it is. So,
Hey man, that's what happens, man. Like you said, unpopular takes, man. But it's always great to have those type of people like that feedback, because it's almost like you love me, because at the end of the day, you took the time to write a thesis about me.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
like you telling me how bad my show is. You're telling me how I should never speak in the mic again. And I just say, man, I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate the view, but like, okay. It is what it is.
I know, and I love that when people do that. They clap back, and this is like,
it's like, okay,
thank you, and have a great day.
You got it. Have a great day. Go back to work. Appreciate it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. So we got 2 topics before we do our mock draft. Some pretty much probably 2 most unpopular topics this week. So we'll start off first with Jeannie Buss. So Jeannie Buss was on All the Smoke podcast with our guys Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. So Jeannie Buss, she named her top 5 most important Lakers. So obviously, and this, I don't call it a list, but this is what I have here. So it was Kobe, Kareem, LeBron, Magic, and Phil Jackson. So I'm gonna go around the horn with you first, Jalen. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, I respect the list. I respect putting LeBron in there, but I don't see how you could put LeBron as a Laker. I'm not just talking about to the game as a whole, but I don't see how you put LeBron and Laker and leave out Shaq. Hell, if we're talking about importance to the Lakers, and again, when you hear me say this, I'm not saying he's on the same level as LeBron. When we talk about importance to the Lakers, Robert Horry's up there too, Big Shot Bob. So, but I don't know if they gave her a script. I don't know if they went over the questions before. Maybe it was just on the spot. And I understand, the importance LeBron has to the game of basketball as a whole. But when we're just talking about strictly Lakers, it's hard for me not to put or it's hard to me to put LeBron James in there over Shaq. But I do like how she put Phil Jackson, because Phil Jackson, especially his coaching and tutelage with Kobe, with Shaq, and of course those Lakers. I like how she included him instead of like another player. So, but yeah, I respect LeBron as far as the player, and I feel he means more to basketball than Shaq. But for the Lakers, no, I got to that those 3-peat Lakers was something serious. So I'll have to put Shaq in my opinion. But
Maui, your thoughts on your beloved Lakers?
I'm from Akron, bro. So You know what I mean? So, but I'm not fake, and I don't play these couch coach live games that he likes to play. I just want you to know that. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not. I looked at it, and I want to. You want to be entertaining for the show, but I didn't have a problem with the list. I said the same thing. It could easily be Robert Horry. It could easily be, man.
It could be. Honestly,
it could be a lot of role players.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at the list, because when I really believe she put LeBron there because LeBron helped her get that championship when she was in charge.
Yeah.
I'll give her that. But I definitely do think that Shaq should have been there. But now that we hearing the history of how it ended up ending, and then Phil she spoke about it. I watched the interview and she spoke about that. But I'm not mad at hers. Yeah. And you being a Laker, I can understand it too. I do think that they need to give Shaq a little bit more respect, because he was extremely, extremely dominant. Like, just watching the game and even playing the game. Like when you played live oh my goodness, man, it was ridiculous. And he definitely needs to get more respect for that, because they was dominant, man. Like extremely. Like they almost went, didn't they go they lost one game one year in the playoffs?
0-1.
You know what I'm saying? Like they really do. And like me during the pandemic, me and Chris was talking about that. They kept playing the same NBA games all the time, the same ones. And I'm like, man, if y'all don't play them Sacramento and Laker games, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't play them games, bro. But I don't have a problem with her list. I understand from your point of view, because you are a Laker.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe And the one thing I like about LeBron, I think he's taking that challenge to prove that he is a Laker. You know what I'm saying? I give that, and I like the Lakers that they actually backing him on some of the stuff. You know what I mean? But anyway,
I think I'm sorry to cut you, but I think that another person that doesn't get a lot of love that should is Pau Gasol. Like Pau Gasol, his importance to not only Kobe after Shaq left, but he was pretty much like the salt and pepper, like the pepper. You know what I mean? Like he was vital for those 2 championship runs. So But yeah, I like you said, I respect her list as well, seeing as though this is the first championship she got as being in charge. So I understand that. So
and I don't have a problem with it either. I mean, and the thing with the Lakers is they're so rich with history. Somebody's gonna get left out.
Yeah,
and that's the thing where I understand LeBron because, like you said, it's bringing the Lakers back to prominence. Like the way I think things are going to happen, they're going to surpass the Celtics as far as most championships in NBA history. I think they're gonna surpass the Celtics in the next maybe year or two or however. So I see why he's important because he's bringing the prominence into this decade.
Yeah,
you see, Shaq, Kobe, they brought prominence in the early 2000s, and then also Kobe and then in the 2010s, well, in the late 2000s, those two. Part of me, and like you said, Phil Jackson also was a part of that too because he kind of put these two alpha males together and formed the championship team. I mean, he with that, a guy I'm really shocked that's not on this list, Jerry West. I'm really shocked. Okay. I was really shocked because he's the orchestrator of these teams, besides the current constructed team. But I definitely thought, his history as a player with the Lakers. Actually, the only guy to win a Finals MVP in a losing effort. GM for nearly 20 years. He orchestrated the Kobe Bryant. The Kobe Bryant trade to from Charlotte, and also bringing in a 24-year-old Shaquille O'Neal, which was tremendous. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that's gonna piss. That's gonna get some ammunition. So because he across the hall, Maui.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Give me some extra blue cheese.
That's why
when this bet come through with our Clipper Laker bet.
You see that, Jalen, right? This has nothing to do with his pick. He's just trying to. He know he lost last season and he ain't trying to pay up. You know what I mean? So he keep pushing for this season. Told you, man.
I just think that's probably why she left him off because he's across the hall. And as you know, Lakers. I mean, you guys know Lakers and Clippers. That I don't care if the Clippers won 10 championships. The Lakers. I mean, it's still Lakers town, and she's not. No Laker is gonna give any Clipper credit for anything. So that's probably why she left him off. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a professional thing with me when it comes to Clippers. There's nothing, no ill will, but just a little.
Hey, I'm happy that she did it so Phil Jackson can get his respect because we all know the Chicago Bulls ain't gonna do it. But...
I mean, hey, there's a different governor. Our governor is not. I don't even want to talk about Ryan.
Anyway.
That's for another day. I don't. Yeah, I mean, and that's why I actually, in essence, and we say kind of really back in. That's what I really like about the Lakers. They're a family. They're the only family-run organization that actually runs like a family. I was definitely, I definitely loved what they did. As far as after Kobe's death, how they was able to memorialize him and kind of just have a family unit. And that's one thing too, where you look at that's the kind of the beauty of the Lakers, where you look at they are a family ran franchise. So that's definitely great job by Governor Buss. But another unpopular topic, Jalen. you know what? We timed this perfect for you this week.
Hey, man,
I'm telling you, we timed all this perfectly. I tell you, the stars aligned on this one. So, fellas, I want to get you guys. I'm gonna go around the horn. So we'll set it up. So obviously, and actually, when we aired last Tuesday, this was the Mekhi Bryant situation. I think was unfolding when we were on air last Tuesday night. So then LeBron James, he tweeted out a picture of the officer that was involved in the incident, and then said, "You're next," with the hashtag accountability. And obviously he deleted it, and he's pretty much saying, "Hey, I know this is gonna cause division, so I'm gonna just delete it, move on with it." So the backlash behind it, your thoughts on the tweet, and then just this whole backlash. I mean, you talk about pundits like Clay Travis, Candace Owens, the bar owner in Ohio. Your thoughts on? I'm gonna go with you first, Jalen.
First and foremost, LeBron James has been in the league for what, 20 years pretty much now, and this is his first trip up. So I guess that's cool. And honestly, let me first start by saying that for the people that are saying, the cop was justified in doing what he's doing. If that's the case, I don't understand what tasers are for. I've seen a video of guys fighting in a airport, and the dude was tasing them, and they were dropping left and right. Yeah. So if she's the Incredible Hulk and a 15-year-old Incredible Hulk and can't take a taser, I don't know. So I just feel, I mean, we know what it is, and it's unfortunate. I do think that LeBron, I mean, here's the thing, man. LeBron, social media is his social media. He has the right to say what he has to say. Now, I understand the what it looks like. It looks bad, and the whole "you're next" thing. I wouldn't put that. I don't think that was the right thing to do. And of course, he deleted it. But I don't think it was a slip up, in my opinion. I do think that the cops should get some accountability, and he should be behind bars and everything. But with LeBron saying again, it's just it looks bad. You know what I mean? Even though I agree with him saying that the cop does need some accountability, saying as though, what's the point of tasers if you're going to automatically resort to a gun? So that's and again, I also think that, of course, it's LeBron and these people are public figures and stuff, but I just think that we hang too much on other people's opinions, man. Right. And we care too much about what other people think. Like, at the end of the day, whatever LeBron says, wow, I get he's LeBron, but LeBron James LeBron James ain't wake me up this morning. LeBron James didn't. Candace Owens or Tori, whatever her name is, didn't wake me up this morning. I just think that we hang too much on other people's opinions and we wait too much for other people to speak and don't formulate our own thoughts. But for LeBron, like I said, it is what it is. He deleted it because I think the wordage was kind of wrong, but that's just how I feel in the situation. I
feel you.
So,
Maui, your thoughts?
Okay. I think he was just extremely emotional, like everybody was. I have a bunch of things I could say that I've been seeing personally that he was dealing with. Then that happened, but I'm not even going to say that because he made a mistake, right? And him being this, and it's the perfect definition. Once you make a mistake, well, he jumped the gun. He spoke of how he felt, and he has the opportunity to do that. But this is the reason why the media actually love LeBron James, because he'll say something or do something, and then it gives all these people all the views and likes, and it wakes these people on these certain channels, and these police officers come out of nowhere, and this and that, you know what I mean? And you may not think he's the GOAT on the court, but when it comes to the media, since he was in high school, he is the GOAT, because he always knows just what to do to make everybody have something to talk about. You know what I mean? He's one of the best at doing that. Jalen, I grew up watching wrestling, right?
Yeah.
And some of our favorite wrestlers is the one that look at the crowd and give them the finger. They didn't like the dude who actually did all the moves and actually can wrestle. They like the guy that can bring an emotion out of you. You know what I mean?
That's why The Rock was so big.
That's why The Rock was so big. That's why everybody's was favorite wrestler back in the day was Dusty Rhodes and the Ric Flairs. And you understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. I don't want to say personally some of the stuff that I saw he was dealing with because he had he's hurting. He hurt himself. He had some stuff go on personally, and he made a mistake. I didn't have a problem with the tweet. I think that he was that's how he felt. A lot of people still look at it like, man, did you have to shoot him? You know, did you have to shoot her 4 times? And I've seen people say it was justified. They keep thinking that he was going to hurt her, but we saying why is the mentality is that you just have to. I got an argument with some of my buddies about that because they own guns, and I said when you own a gun, bro, like you automatically. You're not looking to shoot nobody in the leg. You know what I'm saying? You're looking to shoot him in the chest. But I'm not justifying it. You know, I'm not saying that's what you're supposed to do. It's just automatically you just think that. Now, these are other arguments because I'm not entertaining it. You know what I'm saying? These are other arguments, and I dived into it. But he deleted it, and he spoke about it. He spoke about why he did that. To make it better. And I think that's what makes him a human being. That's what kind of makes him special. He took it on the chin. He said, hey, I shouldn't have done that. But I want everybody to remember this too. This is also the dude a couple years ago that came home and somebody wrote the N-word on his house and he had to explain that to his family. You know what I mean? He's from a rough place that's Akron is averaging 5 young black men are dying a week. He's from a rough place. You know what I'm saying? And he did all this. And then he still get treated a certain way in California in the hills somewhere. Yeah. You know, he didn't get robbed. Somebody wrote the N-word on his house.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So as we know, Jordan was famous for not getting in it. Like, I'm just, Republicans wear Jordans. He was, Tiger Woods was famous for not getting in it. Do you think that athletes of that stature, LeBrons, Tigers, do you think that they should, because their presence is so big and because their following is so big, do you think that they should refrain from, I guess, getting into pools like that? Or do you think that they should, like LeBron, speak how you feel in moments like that?
You asking me?
I'm just asking in general.
I think, and I could be wrong. This is my opinion. I believe those other guys before didn't speak because they were trying to get the machine going to a certain place. Oh. And now it's at a place where, because we don't know who trained LeBron. Do anybody know who gave the basketball to LeBron? Nobody knows what school, this, and that. And I've been telling people, I believe that even when he was younger, they was breeding him. I think all of them wanted to do exactly what he's doing. You know what I mean? Tell you something. I remember when Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao, and everybody acted like they hated him. All the old boxers, I don't like him. But when he beat Manny Pacquiao, each and every one of them was extremely happy because he made $200 and something million in one fight, and he controls everything. So I just believe that they did all that because they had to keep the machine going. And now it's at a place where LeBron is a child star. He did everything that they said, man, don't do what we did. Do it like this. And now he's just pushing the envelope. So I think that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah, and my thing with it is, like you said, that as far as reacting to it, it was kind of ingesting. It was early. But in the same token, what I find funny about it all is it's funny the backlash behind it. It's, like I said, case in point, the examples I point out, like Clay Travis. Now, if this was a serious situation that he deemed it, one of his commentaries said, well, at least he used the word "you're right." So to me, that lets me know that criticism behind that tweet is disingenuous. Candace Owens, well, you should cancel the NBA until LeBron James is gone or whatever. That's disingenuous because she's the first one to always point out about cancel culture. And then everybody talk about cancel culture. People are pissed about MLB moving the All-Star game to Colorado instead of Atlanta because of the voting restoration that's going on, all that mess in Georgia. Brian Kemp, the governor, said, "Oh, I don't want to succumb to cancel culture, but y'all endorse the cancel culture." The ball owner, "Oh, I'm not going to show NBA games anymore because the simple fact of, oh, well, you know what? Because of what LeBron James said, and he's hurting the cops." All these three people, like you said, they're doing this to get attention off the back of LeBron James' misstep. And what's funny, and we always talk about these things where everybody gets uplifted. And matter of fact, we're gonna bring JB in the queue momentarily. We talked about this 2 months ago during the Super Bowl. And we talked about courtside Karen, how she became a pseudo celebrity based off of that interaction with him. So to me, they love this because they drives the needle, like you were saying earlier, Mal. That drives their needle. And like this whole thing with the bar thing, guess what? That's a cute story and all, but guess what? When it's 4th of July weekend and you got maybe game 6 or game 7 of a conference championship game and the conference title in the NBA, I sure hope the Indians are doing good because these are going to be the only two options that you're going to have at this point. You're hoping that the Indians are going to be playing meaningful football. I mean, meaningful baseball in July, because 4th of July weekend, you might have a generating a ratings bonanza when it comes to a conference championship games. Yeah. So, and those three people that we talked about, they live in LeBron James' head rent free, and hopefully by the time rent is due in the month of May, that LeBron James' name is out of their mouth. I just find it funny that this is, because to me, yes, he made a mistake, and that's gonna happen. And that's like you said, and then like you said, there was one little messed up. And I'm like, everything's cool. Now, it was one guy from the LAPD that said he'll talk to him and have a conversation. He said no hate. But then you got, like you said, like you were saying, Maui, you got these people who are on TikToks posting stuff, and I'm like, really? We're gonna sit here. We're really gonna sit here so you can get probably your highest TikTok. Use that hashtag LeBron James to get like 1 million views or whatever. You just a little regular cop, run-of-the-mill cop down the street. But then you talk about LeBron James. What it is, it's all about the machine, and they're using it, and they're using it to their advantage. And it's fun because it's funny. Because like LeBron's probably sitting back and, you know what? I'm making y'all famous. I'm giving y'all material.
It's been happening since he was a kid. It's been happening since he was a kid. Let's talk about his high school coach. Said y'all playing like a bunch of N-words and didn't get a job at Akron University. It's been happening his whole career.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, man. So let's transition, man. Because like you said, man, we Couch Coach Dad could be living in some people's head. Rent free after this conversation. Yeah. Hey, I want you to be rent free for the month of May, June, July. It's whatever. So we're gonna do our mock draft now. We'll get that going. Let me get that squared away. And definitely huge shout out to the Pod Father for commenting. And let's bring JB in the queue. What's going on, JB?
What's up, man? How's everybody doing?
How you doing?
How you doing,
JB?
man?
I'm doing good. Trying to just make the best out of crazy situations. I have a little rant I'm going to do at the end of the show.
Okay.
Similar to, it ties back into like what me and you have talked about before, Chris, about. But this has to do more about what happened on Sunday night with the Oscars. That's gonna be my rant later on at the end of the show. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about that later. But yeah, like I really like the conversation that you guys just had about like the LeBron fiasco.
Right, and that's but yeah, man, it is a trip. So let's do our mock draft. Actually, JB, you are on the clock.
Okay,
all right. You ready, JB?
Right. Yes, I am. Okay, so the Jacksonville Jaguars, you guys have been a dumpster fire ever since you made it to the conference championship in 2017, but help is on the way, and you got a new coach, and hey, I think this is a no-brainer. I think you guys should definitely draft Kyle Pitts with your. I'm just joking. Draft Trevor Lawrence with your first pick. You need a quarterback. Don't do anything crazy. You know what's funny? I actually just found this out not too while ago. And Deshaun, I know you're a wrestling fan, but homeboy who runs AEW, His dad is the owner of the Jaguars. So Tony Khan, he runs AEW. Wow. So he co-owns the Jaguars with his dad. So like, yeah, Jacksonville, do the right thing. You know, you made the conference championship with Blake Bortles. You should have moved on from him, but you went back to him, and it just really screwed your team up. Draft Trevor Lawrence. That's the best thing you can do. That's all I have to say.
Trevor Lawrence. All right.
Okay. With the second pick, it goes to Couch Coach Live, the new Couch Coach Live, CC, the New York Jets.
I am Joe Douglas, the pride of Mechanicsville High School, a formidable foe for me and JB as fellow Springers. We're gonna go with Zach Wilson, the quarterback out of Birmingham Young University. He's going to be there. Definitely new era as far as quarterbacks. They got rid of Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford. Wow. Sam Darnold. Pardon me. Wow. 2011, right? But no, 2010. Okay. This ain't 2010, but yeah.
Okay. They call this one the crossroad of the draft. The third pick is San Francisco 49ers. Go to you, Jalen.
Well, the unpopular 49ers, there's a lot of stories that have been coming out. First and foremost, people forget that we still have Jimmy G on the roster. However, apparently we just don't feel like he can get the job done. We saw in the Super Bowl, all he had to do was a little 5 inches closer, and he can get to Emmanuel Sanders, and they won. And I'm hearing a lot of people say, Mac Jones is the name that's getting tossed around. However, I'm going to throw an audible. If you look at the successful quarterbacks outside of Tom Brady, all of them have one thing in common. They are mobile. Patrick Mahomes is mobile. Josh Allen's mobile. Lamar Jackson's mobile. To a certain extent, Aaron Rodgers is mobile. I say all that to say this. I understand we hear Mac Jones. No, I'm going to throw an audible. I'm going to pick Justin Fields. To me, Justin Fields has been, outside of Trevor Lawrence, he has been the best and most consistent quarterback in college football. Now, I understand you can look at Mac Jones and say, but wait, he got them to this championship. Yeah, but when you have Jalen Waddle who came back, when you have Devontae Smith, when you have Najee Harris, it's going to be a little easy. And of course, that offensive line with 3 players more than likely are going to get drafted in the first round. It's going to be easy. So I am going to throw audible and pick Justin. Not to mention all that was smoke and mirrors that we were doing with the Mac Jones. Yeah. I mean, he can't get out the pocket. We're going to pick Justin Fields for our third overall pick.
Okay.
And Cal going to take good care of him. Cal going to take care of him. He's going to take care of him.
All right, JB, you got the fourth pick, Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, so I had a tough one with this. I think that they're probably going to go skill position player. Now, as of right now, because there's a lot that could change between now and then, if they are to unload Julio Jones, I would go in a different direction. But as of right now, Julio Jones is on their team, so I'm going to give Matt Ryan a new toy at tight end. So I'm going to draft Kyle Pitts out of Florida. Think that he is really, really, really skilled. I think that when you're getting him, you're getting a tight end that's basically like a wide receiver. So I don't think that you can go wrong there. So like as of right now, with them still having Julio Jones on the team, I'm going to go ahead. I think they should draft Kyle Pitts with the 4th pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, CC, with the 5th pick.
We're going to get the best offensive tackle in this draft. I never thought in a million years that Penei Sewell will fall into my lap at number 5. Once upon a time, I thought he was going to be a number 2 overall pick. So I'm going to go with Penei Sewell, a protector for Joe Burrow. This is the right pick for them. This is the type of draft where you don't want to get cute. You want to go with the solid pick and Penei Sewell. So be smart, Cincinnati, and get yourself a generational talent.
Okay. With the 6th pick, Jalen, you got the Miami Dolphins.
See, I'm at a crossroads with this because it's like two different. I said there's two different sides of the fence. There's some people that think Tua is overrated. There's some people that say give Tua time. If we give Tua time, then we don't have to draft a quarterback. If you think he's overrated, we still have Trey Lance there. We still have a couple quarterbacks. Mac Jones is still there. But I'm on the side. Let's give Tua some time. What Tua needs is a number one receiver. Someone that can go over the top, someone that is a big receiver, someone that he can trust. I know you have Parker there, but with the 6th overall pick, I'm going to go with the wide receiver to me, who is a surefire wide receiver. So I'm going to go with Jamar Chase at number 6. I think that, a lot of people forget how good he is, seeing as though he sat out a year due to COVID. But, I mean, he was a big reason why LSU had the greatest offensive season in college football history. And I think that, you give Tua more time, you give him a reliable receiving core. I know they have some defensive stuff to work on, but they still have another number one or another first round pick, and that they can kind of focus on the defense. So I am going to go with the best wide receiver to me, and that's Jamar Chase.
Jalen, you almost scared the hell out of me. I was like, if you you scared the shit out of me. I am not gonna front. I like when you said quarterback. I like, don't you do it? No.
We're gonna stick with Tua at least another year to see if he explodes.
Yeah.
All right. The 7th overall pick goes to JB, Detroit Lions.
Ooh, okay. So I think that there are a few different ways that you can go. So like you just traded for Jared Goff, but I think that there are some red flags about Jared Goff. So I think that you can either go quarterback here or you can go defense here. It's a quarterback-driven lead. I wrote down 2 names here, but I really like Micah Parsons, but I think this is a little early to draft him. I really like the kid a lot. I think he's going to be a very good linebacker, but this is a quarterback-driven league. I think that there are definitely some questions out there about Jared Goff. So with this number 7 pick, I think the Lions need to go ahead, and I think they need to draft a quarterback, and I would draft Trey Lance if I was them.
Ooh. Okay. Trey Lance in Detroit. And you know what's funny? Because I think this is where, if like you said, Detroit, if they should kind of trade down.
Oh yeah.
I think, like you said, definitely if you can get Michael Parsons, which I think I'm gonna kind of allude to my pick, where it's kind of where I think New England need to kind of jump ship at one of these, at one of these spots.
Yeah, at least crack the top 6 in my opinion.
The 8th overall pick is the Carolina Panthers. Go to you, Couch Coach Live.
So they got a lot of things that they need. So I'm gonna do this, and this is just for tonight's thing, for the mock draft for tonight. I'm gonna just be safe and get JC Horn. He stays in the Carolina area. But if I'm them, I am on the phone with the brass with New England. Gilmore, I will give you the 8th. I will give you Jerry Richardson statue outside that building. I will get you anything that you ever desire. You bring him, we'll drop back down 15 and be content. If we can get a guy like Stephen Gilmore, but if how it's constructed tonight, I'm gonna do JC Horn. They definitely need cornerback help in Carolina, so definitely JC Horn is my pick.
All right, the 9th overall pick is the Denver Broncos. Go to you, Jalen.
Well, it's pretty much out that they've kind of lost faith in Drew Lock. Having the worst quarterback or QB passing percentage in the league, especially when you have Judy, especially when you have Sutton when he's healthy, when you have Noah Fant. While you could address the defense and get like a Michael Parsons or get a Patrick Surtain, I think that they want to go quarterback. And I think, seeing as though Trey Lance is taken, I think they're going to go with the next best quarterback that they have, and that's Mac Jones. While Mac Jones is not a mobile quarterback, to me, he has the strongest arm in the draft out next to Trey Lance. To me, he is one of the most accurate quarterbacks. next to maybe Zach Wilson. And I think the real reason why they pick Mac Jones is because when the weapons that you have, and you have a quarterback that has the lowest passing percentage in the league, and it's not. And of course, we all know the GM's record for getting a quarterback is just not good. So I think that they're gonna go with Mac Jones if he's still there or not.
Okay.
Come on, Jalen. Put some respect on John Elway's name.
Oh, John Elway as a quarterback, as a GM. I don't know.
Yeah. So definitely, let's get him. Oh, you good?
All right.
Now I gotta put the pressure on JB because it's funny because I do mock drafts and stuff. No, I never get Washington, so I like, you know what, I'm gonna get my boy Alley Who. So
okay, all right. So I think it's no surprise that Dallas was a dumpster fire on defense last year. So they need all the defensive help that they can get. There are a lot of, and I think when it comes to defense, I think that they need to look at cornerback, safety, and defensive tackle. Those are the three positions of need there. But I think that you need to go cornerback here. I like a lot of the cornerbacks in the first round. J.C. Horn's off the board. I like J.C. Horn, but one of the red flags with me about him is just his ball skills. He only had 2 interceptions, and he got both the interceptions last year. So I think that when it comes down to it, I think that you have 2 good choices, but one of the guys scares me. The guy that scares me the most is Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech. He didn't play last year, and then he also had back surgery. So that's a bit concerning to me. So I think that you go with your best bet. I think that you go Patrick Surtain here. Patrick Surtain the second. Draft him. Then you have him, and you have Diggs on the other side. So you have your 2 cornerbacks right there. So then you can worry about the other stuff later. So yeah, Patrick Surtain second is my pick.
Yeah, big time. Jalen, who's your favorite squad? Who you in the fifth squad?
I'm a Washington fan, man.
No way.
I live.
You mean the state of Washington?
No way.
I live literally like 10 minutes away from the stadium. So
okay.
I was born and raised a Washington fan, and it's.
Oh.
I mean,
go ahead. Okay.
We've had some tough years, man. We've had to sit through some Albert Haynesworth years. We had some Fox 5 Clinton Portis years when he had his little segments. It's been tough. We had Jim Zorn years. It's tough. It's tough.
But chin up, Jalen.
Jason Campbell. For a couple games.
Sean Beck. But chin up, Jalen. Happy times are here again.
We got Chase.
We are happy days are here again. Yes. There's no need to worry about the past. We are here. Yeah. Happy days are here again in Washington.
I don't know, man. We got Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, out of all the quarterbacks you could have got, you got a bona fide journeyman, and you're trying to sell me.
I'm a Dallas fan, but I really like that. I like that move as a bridge here because I think that like if he struggles, you can bring in another quarterback. He's a great relief pitcher, man. Like, I mean, like if you need a person in the second half to get your offense started, I think he's good right there. He's not a long-term solution, but I think for a bridge here, I actually think the Bears should have made a move to try to get him once the Russell Wilson thing kind of fell apart.
I thought we were going to make a move for Sam Darnold. I thought we were going to make a move for Mr. Trubisky. I mean, to me, while they're not saviors, they're better than to me, for an entire season, I would trust more than I trust.
I think this team understands that all they really need is a guy. Because you think about Alex Smith. Just imagine he's like a better version of Alex Smith and healthier. So I think they kind of had it's almost like an identity crisis, but more so I think they looked at this team and said, hey, we still are a legitimate team. We just need a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over. Defense does its thing. So I look at it like you said, it's a Band-Aid to a wound, and at this point at 19, we're not going to be able to get, that we've drafted tonight. So
I heard
things where
I heard they're trying to move to trade up to get a Trey Lance.
Yeah, that's the TikTok.
I don't know what you're gonna have to give up, but
at this point, I don't like. That's the thing where trading up and especially the stuff that we need. Like to me, so who do you think we're gonna take at 19? Who you want at 19?
Well, that's the thing. I think because you bring on a Ryan Fitzpatrick and because you sign Tyler Heineke, to me, while I do believe good players like, I think Devontae Smith might still be there. I think you said there's some good players. I think because you brought on Ryan Fitzpatrick, we know how bad our offensive line is or was last year. They're probably going to go off. I think they're probably going to go with like Alex Leatherwood from Alabama. I think they're going to address the offensive line. And we know, Washington loves Alabama boys. So I think they're going to address the offensive line because they brought on Alex Smith and because they got Curtis Samuel. While I think they should get a wide receiver, I think they're going to focus on the offensive line first. So that's what I think. I think Alex Woodhead might be there. Maybe Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State. Christian Dursall if he's still there. So that's because I don't think Slater's going to be there. So
I don't think so either. Because I swear I was ready to pull the trigger at 8 for him. Yeah. But I think at 19, who I really like, and I'm telling you, if I just hope that he falls to our lap. JOK, Jeremiah. You know what I'm talking about from Notre Dame, linebacker from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Osawo Kamara.
Yeah.
He's like a Swiss Army knife, what we need at that linebacker position. So I definitely hope he's there. If not, like you said, maybe get like a Elijah Vera Tucker from USC if he's available. And Dershot, and that's going to be an intrigue about this draft where you look at, I think between like 14 and like 18, I think that's like Minnesota, Miami, Las Vegas, that run, and then also I got to mention the Chargers as well. So that's when you're gonna get like a lot of those, a log jam as far as offensive tackles. And I'm hoping because a part of me, I want JOK. If not, but we can also get another guy I like, even though part of my bias, Chad Surratt. We can get him like in the 3rd round, the former UNC quarterback turned linebacker, which I hope if he would be a great Saturday afternoon pick for us if he's available, hopefully, and then maybe take a shot at Kellen Mond. Unfortunately, Kellen Mond tore my Carolina Tar Heels apart in the Orange Bowl, so I kind of seen that kind of firsthand. And he's a project, and I
actually have him going to Tampa Bay.
They're 32.
Yeah, because they don't need anything, honestly, and I think that they have Tom Brady there for maybe 2 years at good Tom Brady, and they have no backup. So I think I have him going 32, just because, like I said, they don't need much and have him as a project. And he, outside of the top few, I think he's the best one of the remaining that will still be there. So I got him going 32, actually, Tampa Bay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jalen. You look like you done had some really, really hard nights with the Washington Warriors.
What? I told you he's gonna be all right. I told you happy days are here.
Yeah,
happy days are here.
You done had some rough nights, boy.
Man, I remember the feeling I had when I watched Michael Vick come back that Monday Night Football and tear us, and like the way that the first half, when you knew, oh man, we made Michael Vick look better than his prime. I said, Lord Jesus.
I remember how arrogant y'all was when RG3, when y'all won the division championship. Y'all can't, oh my God, it was like they was coming out of everywhere. I'm like, what in the hell? And I live in Virginia, but they was coming everywhere. I was like, oh my God.
I said, bro, the one thing you cannot do, I don't care if we lose another game, if we don't win another game, do not let Drew Brees get that record on us. And what did he do?
Oh yeah.
The first half, Drew Brees got the record. I said, you know what? That's Washington. That's Washington. So,
and these are Monday night games, but you know what? It's okay, Jalen, because guess what happened Tuesday morning? The sun came out, and we still here. Tuesday morning came in the sunshine, and we made it. We'll be all right, Jalen.
Yeah,
we'll be all right.
I do think, however, I will say an unpopular opinion, I guess. I think that we will finish number one in the division. I will say that.
Yeah, me too.
I think they'll finish number one.
I said it last season too.
I doubt it. They're back-to-back NFC, back-to-back champs. Doesn't happen. I mean, it hasn't been done in like 16 years, 16, 17 years. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, man. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I look at what's happening with Philly.
Philly's done. Philly's in last place, I would say.
And I do think the Giants, with getting everyone healthy, they're a scary team. It just really depends on how Daniel Jones does. In Dallas, when you're talking about getting Kyle Pitts and your defense was bottom 5, like your priorities ain't right. So I think we have a chance, man. I think we have a chance.
Oh yeah, we all, that's the thing about us. When you got a Ron Rivera coach team, you're always gonna be in it, regardless of we might get punched in the mouth, but guess what? We'll our wounds and we going back and we gonna fight. So
at least you're not biting knees like or biting ankles like
like Dan Campbell in Detroit. Lord have mercy.
Or playing rock paper scissors with
oh Lord, right? And we're gonna develop systems that offense is gonna know, but the defense is gonna know. What the? I was like, you know what?
Hey man, at least it's not my quarterback. I mean my coach.
Who are you telling? Like and now back in the days we used to have those we used to be the butt of the jokes with the old ball coach.
We had
Jim Zollman.
We had Gruden. Gruden. I saw Gruden at a nightclub one night. So
yeah,
Hey, I'm a little older. I saw Chris I saw Chris Webber in the club one night, and they was in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. I tell you,
man, that's ruthless.
Yeah, I thought like it actually feels good to have a stability. Within the organization.
Yeah.
Finally, definitely. So, fellas, let's put a bow on this week's Couch Coach Live, man. So we'll go around the horn, fellas. Your final thoughts before we head on out tonight. So I'm gonna go with you first, Jalen.
At the end of the day, again, I appreciate you guys coming. Appreciate you guys inviting me on. It definitely was a blessing. At the end of the day, there's going to be multiple people that get their dreams realized on Thursday draft. So no matter who gets picked, congratulations to all you guys for getting drafted, especially how tough it's been putting your bodies through COVID. Some of you guys who didn't play but still trained. This was definitely an off year last year, of course, as we all know, for everyone. So the fact that you still fought through and you still were at a talent level to get drafted, congratulations to all you guys. And I'm excited to see and people, you give content for people like myself and the Couch Coach Live. So congratulations to all the people that will be getting drafted, whether it's the first round or the last round. Congratulations to you guys.
Yeah. All right. JB, I need to hear that rant.
Oh, okay, man. So anyway, man, so this is the rant, and me and my boy, we actually talked about this, when the what's the name of the Lloyd Pierce, the coach for the Hawks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When he got fired, how it was made into a big deal, and okay, so on Sunday, I don't know if you guys follow the film awards and stuff like that, but on Sunday, Chadwick Boseman didn't win Best Actor at the Oscars, and Black Twitter went apeshit crazy. And here's my thing. This is what I'm gonna say, man. I'm tired of every time something happens that it's this horrible indictment on society and society's failing. Chadwick Boseman not winning an Oscar is not a tragedy. You want to know what the tragedy is? The fact that he died at a young age. That's a tragedy. But I'm tired of people. The people were going crazy on poor Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins is 83 years old, man. This man was in the UK in his bed sleeping. You're mad that he actually won it. You're not mad at the voters. I mean, it's a block of 9,000 people who are snobs that work in the film industry. They are going to have different taste than the common public does. And I just think people need to calm down. But like, anytime somebody gets fired, anytime somebody doesn't get nominated for an award, it's this horrible indictment on society and how society is failing. And I think people don't, like in basketball, for instance, I feel worse for the guys on NBA rosters that don't have guaranteed contracts. They're on these two-way contracts and they get cut, have no source of income. Lloyd Pierce got fired. Guess what? This man is still getting paid. And guess what? In the future, he's going to get another job. So him getting fired is not a tragedy. Person not winning an award or not getting nominated for an award is not a goddamn tragedy. People need to just calm the fuck down. That's my rant.
Hashtag Oscar so white.
And yeah, I remember them saying that Chadwick was on something until he passed, and then they found out he had cancer.
Yeah.
I remember those pictures before that where everybody was saying that he was on something.
Oh yeah. No, it was just kind of, it was horrible how he was being treated before he died, and but like, yeah, man, dude was an icon, man. He didn't need an award to like validate him, man. It's just the tragedy is the fact that this man died at such a young age when he had so much more to give. That's the tragedy. Him not winning an award, that's not a tragedy. And I mean, the Oscars they give 0 Fs. Like poor Glenn Close lost again on Sunday. She's 0 for 9. She hasn't won one yet, and she's probably gonna go to her grave like without one win. Hey. So I mean, like, hey,
I'm gonna say this though. She didn't come get my award. She knew who Sugar Bear was. She knew who the Backyard Bear was. She come holler at Sean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Poor Anthony Hopkins, man. That man was asleep in London. Like,
yeah, he woke up and he woke up and didn't know what's going on or whatever. I felt bad for him. Like, you have people like making fun of him, calling him like an old fart and all this other stuff. I'm like, man, you folks need to calm down, man. It ain't that serious.
And now you get to a point now it's like you want to be years old to make it that long. You better stay right.
And then somebody was like, he didn't even come to the awards. I'm like, all right. Let's be real. This man is 83 years old. We don't know if he's been vaccinated or not. You're going to fly all the way from the UK to come to an award ceremony for one night and then fly back? Come on now. Let's be real, man.
Especially in these tough TSA regulations when it comes to the pandemic.
Yeah. And the people that we're talking about, half of y'all don't even want to like fly to like Miami. If you from Washington D.C., you talk about how long of a flight that is, and this man had to fly over the sea. So I mean. Like,
I gotta connect flight to Spirit from Miami to Dulles for like $15.
Yeah,
city girls.
He's so stupid.
Let me. I can't do that to our sisters, but yeah, man, yeah. It was a joke. I'm not Kevin Samuels.
Hey,
now, your final thoughts.
Oh man, great show, man. I'm a pleasure meeting you two, or at least being able to interview Jalen. I want to send a shout out. I didn't get his whole name, but he was on the show. I think last week or 2 weeks ago. Mike, his film came out yesterday. The Sport of Reporting. He didn't hit his mark that he wanted, but it was actually pretty entertaining. You know what I mean? Shout out to him.
Yeah, man, that's a huge shout. I actually watched it last night. It was pretty good.
I did too. It was pretty good. Yeah. I wanted if he get a chance to see this, I think he has a talent in doing like sketch comedy, like scenes for sketch comedy. I think he would do well with that.
Yeah, man. Hey, I might, right. I definitely see that. Definitely, maybe do some work for us potentially. We'll try to get that connection going potentially, but yeah, man, right. Definitely great show, fellas. Man, definitely appreciate the energy that was brought tonight. Definitely a huge shout out to our guest Jalen, then also JB for stopping through as well. Definitely a huge shout out to everybody who who interacted with us tonight. Shout out to our guy Rob, Football and Chill podcast, the Pod Father himself, Jeff. Definitely shout out to Jeff and Jeff Mall. Definitely appreciate her for chiming in as well. We definitely love when she comes on and gives her commentary. Definitely appreciate her for listening. And then also our guy Mo Gotti, aka Mo Cheese from the Up and Plains podcast. Definitely appreciate those guys for coming through and interacting with us. Also, church announcements. So tomorrow we have a special Couch Coach Live. We're gonna have Sean Robinson from Channel 6. We'll be previewing the state championship game, Stonebridge versus Highland Springs, Part 4. Definitely huge shout out to them. Thursday, 2 shows. Play callers. Shout out to my NBA Carousel brethren, Cool McCain. I'll be on his draft show for I think from the first hour from 8 to 9. Then our brother Rob from the Football Chill podcast. I'll be on his on Thursday night as well. Probably be for to midnight or whatever, whenever the first round is done. Got other shows coming up this week. And definitely huge shout out to Highland Springs High School on the verge of, get ready, play in the state championship. So definitely huge shout out to those boys on 15 South Oak. Yeah, man. Other shows we got. Definitely appreciate everybody for stopping through. And man, this has been this week's Couch Coach Live. Man, we'll catch you guys next week.
Appreciate it.
Well,
Yeah.